Hi, my name is Jay, and for today's video, I'm going to share my April and May book wrap-up. I may or may not switch to like every 2 months to do like book wrap-ups and favorites. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how I feel. We'll see. Maybe I'll upload monthly. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Anywho, I read 8 books. 4 in April, 4 in May, so let's get into what I thought about these books. The first book I read in April was This Star Won't Go Out by Esther Earl, and I have been wanting to read this book for a super long time. I bought this when I went to Portland a couple of years ago. Oh my gosh, wow, it's been a while, and I've just had it in my TBR pile, and I finally read it, and it was amazing. Esther Earl died of thyroid cancer. She was friends with John Green. You could tell just how much she loved life and her family and her friends, and just how surrounded she was by people that loved and cared about her. And what I loved about this book was that it included like diary entries from her journals, but it also includes like transcripts of her YouTube videos, because she made YouTube videos, blogs that her parents made during like the battle with cancer and like what they were going through, and so much more. And at the end it included like excerpts of like stories that she had written, which is just amazing, and it gives just this whole feeling of who Esther was, and I just love it so much. And it's a great reminder of just loving the people that are around you and taking care of them and just being with them, I guess. The next book I read was Shut Out by Cody Keplinger. She wrote The Duff, which was made into a movie. I loved that book so much, and one of the things that I get out of her books is that she is just so much fun. Like, her books are so much fun to read. Very lighthearted, funny, romantic comedies sort of books. I do feel like The Duff was a little bit better, but this was still very fun to read. I didn't even explain what the book was about. Oh my gosh, what's wrong with me? So in this school, there is this rivalry between the football and the soccer team, and all of the girlfriends are just completely fed up and mad that their boyfriends are always like fighting each other and like pulling pranks that are like really horrible pranks at each other, and they're just fed up and are like, okay, no sex or no nothing for all of y'all until you stop the fighting. And that's just where the story goes. Super fun, very lighthearted, highly suggest. Next book I read was Second Star by Alyssa B. Scheinmel. This is a retelling of Peter Pan that is set in like a California beach summer surfer kind of situation. I adore reading retellings because I like to see how the author kind of like takes the elements of a story and makes it into her own like little world. Do I think this was the best? Not really. I really wanted so much more from the characters. The actual storyline was actually pretty interesting. In this book, Wendy's brothers were surfers. They had gone missing and were pronounced dead, and she's still grieving and trying to like find her brothers. That whole plot line was very interesting. I liked it. I just felt like Wendy as a character just needed more. Tinkerbell, needed so much more character development, and then the ending at the end was just like, ugh, really? I had read a lot of books that ended in a similar fashion, so I'm slightly over it. It feels like it doesn't really serve the book in a way that I like. And the last book I read in April was The Sweet Spot by Stephanie Ivanovich, and this is a companion to Big Girl Panties, which I read couple years ago maybe, and I adored it, loved it. This is more of like a sexy sex kind of book, but I didn't really feel like it was as fun as Big Girl Panties. I thought that was a lot more interesting. In this one, it focuses on Amanda and, oh my god, what's his name? Chase Walker. So Amanda is this like restaurateur, and Chase is this baseball player, and they meet and they fall in love, but Chase has a secret fetish sort of situation thing, and that is just not my not up my alley, not really something that I'm interested in, and it just wasn't as fun reading about the relationship as it was for Big Girl Panties, so I would skip this one. Moving on to what I read in May, the first book I read was Everyone's an Alien When You're an Alien Too by Johnny Sun. Wow. I have been seeing this for a while. Christina, who is another YouTuber, she showed this, I think, in a YouTube video or an Instagram post or something, and I looked it up and I thought it was super cute. So I was finally able to read it, and it is adorable. It is a very quick read. You can read it in a day if you want, because it's just comics and there's not a lot of words on every page. But it is super cute. It's about life and just the people around you, told in a very cute and heartbreaking manner. And I am a hedgehog and I love it. And you can relate to this alien has been sent to, like, what is it? I don't even know. To study Earth or whatever. And he meets all of these people and, like, beings along the way. And it is just beautiful to watch this alien interact with other people. Not people, like just a bunch of creatures, and you can relate to some of them. Maybe one that you particularly feel is just you in your heart. I am a hedgehog. I feel it. So yeah, this book, highly suggest you read it, and let me know in the comment section if you have read it and which character you relate to the most, because I want to know. Next book I read was Virtuosity by Jessica Martinez, and this is about a girl named Carmen. She is a violin player, and she is in the middle of this, like, highbrow competition to win a prize violin and, like, a scholarship or whatever, and a chance to tour. But she has severe anxiety and just panic when she starts to perform, so she starts taking Inderal to, like, calm her nerves, and she just has to start taking more and more because she can't calm down. And it gets a lot worse because there is this other competitor, I don't remember his name, Jeremy, who she kind of has a connection with, and she doesn't really know how to handle all of that. I used to actually play the violin, and that's why I picked up this book, because I was like, ooh, a story about a violinist. This should be fun. I wish that it was not so much about her relationship with Jeremy and more focused on her relationship with her overprotective, overbearing stage mom, and her this addiction to Inderal, which, I mean, was depicted in the back of the book, so I thought it would be more of a big presence, but it wasn't. So really wanted so much more from this book. The plotline seemed great, but Jeremy was kind of boring. I didn't really care if they won or not. It was just like, whatever. And I feel like that should be important when you're reading about a violin competition book, so Next book I read was Two-Way Street by Lauren Barnholt. I have read another one of her books, Through to You, I think is what it's called. And her books are very fun to read. I love contemporary novels, and it reads very well. Her writing style is fantastic. She has good pacing when you read her books. Very contemporary-esque. If that makes sense. But I just did not enjoy this book at all. The only saving grace, frankly, is her writing style, because I'm still, like, enraptured by her writing. It's just the characters where I'm like, really? It is about a couple who have broken up, Jordan and Courtney, and they break up like a couple weeks before, like, this road trip to the same college that they're heading off to when they graduate, and it's just about them on this road trip. And it's like, Jordan has a secret and he didn't really want to break up with Courtney, and you'll find out if you read the book. My main problem with this book is the depiction of the teenage characters, and it just felt so over the top. And maybe I was so out of it when I was in high school and I was a teenager, where I'm like, wow, I cannot relate to any of these people at all. Even probably when I was in high school, I'm like, wow, this, if I had read this in high school, I'd be like, what kind of world, what kind of high school were you in? Because I just feel like the teenagers would not act like this at all. It feels like very heightened, very like high school movie stereotypical characters where everyone's like super horny, on sex, doing drugs. That's just the feel of the book, but set in a fun, road trippy kind of way. So that was kind of my main issue with the book, but I'll probably still pick up a couple of her books because her writing style is really fun to read. And the last book I read was Just Ella by Margaret Peterson Haddix. I used to love the Shadow Children. Was it the Shadow Children series when I was a kid? And I was like, ooh, retellings of fairy tales? Heck yes, of course I'll read it. That was a mistake. So if you can't tell, this is a retelling of Cinderella. Still set in like a royalty kind of way, but set like once she is about to marry the prince. And it's kind of her adjusting to her life as a princess, a soon-to-be queen. And the characters just felt very one note. Everyone's just either the good guy or the bad guy. There's no in between. The prince is super dumb. What is it? I don't know, whoever like helps her out, her lady in waiting or whatever, is just mean just to be mean. And I don't know. I didn't really get a lot out of this book. I was really glad when it was over. I did pick up the other two because they were on Book Outlet and they were cheap on sale. I'm hoping the other two will be better. It's a trilogy. Well, I don't know if it's a trilogy. I don't know if they connect or anything, but there's 2 other books after this. We'll see. And that is my gigantic stack. Well, I'm really trying to read 4 books a month. I succeeded the past 2 months, so top-notch job, self. Good job. Woo! Alright, if you have read any of these books, please let me know in the comment section down below. Remember to hit that subscribe button. Where is it? Is it here? Is it here? I don't know. My social media links are in the description down below. Click it. Let's hang out. If you want to read about my like full-on reviews where I'm not rambling and like spitting random words out, I do have a link to my Goodreads down below so you can see what book I'm reading, my thoughts on them, my score, all of that. Thank you all so much for watching this week's video. Like, comment, do it, bye. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you next time with a brand new video. Goodbye!